Hey everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of the Velvetcast.
Oh, heyo, what's up?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, look everyone, we're back. Yeah, I was absent last.
The gang's all here.
Yeah, it's all three of us are all here again. Last week I wasn't feeling that great, and I needed to rest my energy like a cocoon for Persona. But I feel better now. It's been a week. We did what we had to do. I'm gonna go check to make sure the stream is up real quick before we go.
It is. I'm confirming. I'm linking it right now.
All right, cool. Your name explodes. I forgot that was the name of the episode for half a second. All right, so I didn't even. We're just right out the gate. Yeah, right out the fucking gate. All right. So we started My Hero Academia season 2.
Hell yeah. With the first 2 episodes. What did you think?
I was really excited for this because I know we missed it last week, and I'm really happy.
Still excited.
Yeah, fuck yeah, I am. I had this is what I saw everywhere was the uniforms, the battle royale tournament style stuff. Like, this is where this is, in my opinion, this is where it boomed in popularity, because that's when I got exposed to the shows.
It's their tuning exams.
Yeah, it's my Hero Academia's tuning exams.
That's
hell yeah.
Oh god. Hopefully no one blasts their own arm off.
Yeah.
No, Orochimaru comes in at the last episode.
Yeah, Orochimaru's just grooming Bakugo to become his new vessel.
Oh god. And then he blows his arm off. No, so there's not really much. I feel like there's not much to say about these episodes other than I really like that they're setting up character motives. They're fleshing out some characters. We found out Ochako. Ochako, she has a really nice reason to be a hero. That's pretty good.
Money, man.
No,
yeah, well, it's a relatable one. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, yeah, okay, we all strive to be the best, and that's great for motive for Deku and all, but having somebody who's concerned about supporting their family is a very real and common, I think, motive. Something that a lot of us can relate to for sure. So
you can't feed yourself on dreams.
No, you can't be a Greg universe. But like it was just really cool to kind of see where everyone kind of stood, and like I like that Bakugo is he was a dick in the second episode where he gave the speech of "I'm gonna beat you all. What up?" and then like he just drops the mic and shit.
Yeah.
I like that, like, Deku recognizes, I call him Deku, Midoriya recognizes that like there's a serious narrative. Like, I like that all the characters are like stepping up, and like we're having our My Hero Academia Olympics, and that, I mean, it's all really cool. I feel like, at least for me, there's not much to really talk about.
Nah, these 2 episodes were a lot of setup. We're getting into the meat of the arc in the following episodes, really. So.
Oh yeah, and this is like our first time really seeing sort of like the max potential of what Todoroki can do, right?
Oh yeah.
Todoroki, as Nextian put, the Jaina Proudmoore of heroes.
Definitely.
The Elsa.
Oh god.
He may ulted.
He may ulted. No, you're making me like him less.
All these associated feelings now.
Oh no! It's like fighting Sub-Zero.
Oh, okay. I like Sub-Zero.
Yeah, he's cute. Or Mr. Freeze. I don't know. I'm trying to.
Hey man, Mr. Freeze is like my favorite Batman villain. Okay,
that's fair. That's fair.
If Todoroki could drop some awesome, like, cheesy Arnold Schwarzenegger ice puns, I think that would be.
You see, I don't dislike Arnold Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze as much as a lot of people seem to. It's like, he's great.
He's perfect.
Oh man.
So yeah, I don't know. This arc, without getting too into it, it's an excellent opportunity for us to look into motivations of characters that we really haven't seen that much from the first season, right? So it kind of really helps fill out the cast with supporting characters, and they all get to have their moments. It's not just the Deku show with Deku and All Might. You know, it's some real opportunities to see these characters shine. I'm looking forward to the coming episodes. So yeah,
I noticed that dude with tail and Invisible Girl hang out like a lot.
Yeah, dude with tail and Invisible
like I noticed that too, and it's like, wow, they make a good ship.
They do. Like I'm very curious because like it's one of those things where it's like in the first season, you got introduced to all these characters and their quirks, but in the second season, it's like now we get to watch them all fight each other.
Yeah,
have that fun.
I'm excited to see Bakugo kill somebody.
The accidental fatality.
He takes his fist and shoves it down someone's throat,
and then just blows the throat. Oh Jesus!
No, yeah, I was thinking like a face grab. Like,
you know,
I mean, there's a chance that
they live. Hey! If fucking. If Scarlet Witch can create a bubble and remove the air out of that bubble and turn the Hulk back into Bruce Banner, and fucking like I don't know, there's superhero, like if Wolverine can be a hero,
that's true. Okay, fair point.
Or the Punisher.
Look, the Punisher. I feel like he's an anti-hero. I don't know. Whatever.
Oh, I should have put the Punisher as one of these thumbnails.
Oh, you see the Punisher? Oh,
I've been watching the Punisher. God damn it.
We'll talk about that in a bit.
Let's see. I think the one thing is that, like, there's always, like, it's surprising to me how well Hiroaka sort of maintains a feeling of tension and of, like, sort of, as far as, like, you know, knowing that Midoriya has to succeed All Might eventually.
Yeah, like, they really set the time limit on early on. I was surprised when they're like, when All Might just drops, it's like, yeah, I can only be a hero. I can only be in my my hero form for like 45 minutes now, and it's like, oh fuck, like this isn't good. Like we got a time limit. It's taken down. Deku doesn't have much time.
Well, I assume that with the transfer of power, he would become, you know, the more he gives. Like I'm under the assumption that the more he gives Midoriya, the less powerful he becomes.
Yeah, I don't know how much it's that, or also like he was already like by the first episode he could only be a hero for 3 hours, right? And at the end of season 1, he exerted himself against Nomu, and then that ended up cutting his timeline basically in half, right? So I think it's just basic fatigue from being the symbol of peace for so long, and that injury that he had in his chest that they really haven't gotten into yet, but whatever.
Didn't it like remove like part of his like.
I'm pretty sure he has no stomach anymore, right?
Yeah, it looked fucked. It looked fucked. So, yeah.
Like, you know, if it were any other shonen series, the sensei, you know, the teacher master character would stay around a lot longer.
Right.
And I find it interesting that they do just keep on reinforcing the fact that All Might won't be there forever.
But it also like cements the importance of Midoriya's development.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, these are the episodes. Yeah, I mean, like I said before, I mean, I feel like that's all we can really say about these episodes. It's good to see everyone back. I feel like it would have hit much harder if we didn't, you know, spend a 2-week away period. And I mean, I feel like people who were really invested into the show, didn't they have to wait like a year for the next bit?
Yeah, it was. Like about a year, maybe a little bit over. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about right.
Oh man. I know that feeling as I stare at fucking JoJo.
Oh my god!
When will you be here, Giorno Giovanna?
At least with that case, like it'll be a whole new set of characters, you know. So it'll be fuck, man, god damn. When the fuck is part 5 coming out? God damn.
All right. Let's move on to our next subject then, because wow, okay. that was kind of short. We only spent like 10 minutes on that.
Yeah, well, you know, we'll be definitely we're definitely going to be getting more into it in the coming episodes. For sure,
before we give up on this, not give up. Before we move on from this one, I wanted to say real quick, opening's real strong,
dude. Oh, I'm glad you liked it.
Really good.
It's really fucking good. I honestly use it. I play it like every time I go running, and it's fucking dope.
I
love
bet.
that song.
God. All right, let's move on to the next bit.
Okay.
All right, so okay. Let's preface this. Josh's movie choice. By the way, yeah, we're still doing those. I postponed this viewing, unfortunately, because of time restraints and because of show stuff that was happening. Josh, this was your movie choice. We watched Your Name.
Oh man.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna preface this real quick, as this movie was not for me.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy!
Oh, no.
So your opinion hasn't changed.
Oh, no.
Man! Time to hear Mitch rage about a movie, guys.
I'm not gonna rage about it. I don't preface it with me raging, because that's the truth of the matter is this. I set up the Saturday stream last night, and I think it was like Oceano showed up, but Oceano was dealing with a lot of technical issues, so he ended up heading out. So it was just me watching the dub of Your Name, and like I enjoyed it. It was a fun watch. The twist was fun. By the way, spoilers.
We're gonna get a spoiler. If you haven't watched it yet, I highly recommend it at least.
Don't go into this with this review. Just stop this video, go watch it, and then come back, because I will say this: it is still good. It is a good film, and like it is definitely something that, like, the less you know about it going in, the better it will be.
Definitely.
I gotta admit, Sora, I told this to Josh last night, and it's one of those things where, like, I absolutely hate saying this. When I was 18, I watched a movie called The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. And that was like, oh man, I fucking love this movie. Like, I watched it, and it was fucking great. I showed it to all my friends. It was this whole bit. This movie gave me a lot of those vibes. But I'm 25 now.
Man, you make it sound like it's forever between 18 and 25. Granted, it's a lot of time.
I
7
feel like I'm
years,
a very
man.
Person between when I was 18 and when I was 25. Heck, I'm a different person when I was 22.
Haha, joke's on you guys. I'll never change. I've always been born with perfect taste. So
yeah, we all can't aspire to perfection, Josh.
Ah, yes.
Oh man.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Don't never fix what ain't broken. Okay, so I know that Sora, because here's the thing. So I want to talk about the pre-game to this, because I think it's important for everyone to understand where I'm coming from. Well, at least I hope. Sora, you told me this movie was really good. I remember this being in theaters earlier this year, right?
Yep.
And I heard a lot of good news. I saw it on Anime News Network and everything. I just never got around to watching it. Josh, he had recommended it to me too. A lot of my friends were recommending it to me. And I think somewhere deep down I knew exactly why I didn't want to watch this movie. I just didn't want to admit it to myself, which is my tastes have changed. I have changed as a person from 7 years ago. This is the first time I've tried to watch a big anime movie like that wasn't associated with a series in some time. And while I definitely saw the appeal, and I definitely saw, I'm like, oh yeah, I could totally see why people would be into this. Me personally, this just isn't my cup of tea. Like, I still enjoyed watching it, and I still enjoyed, what it presented. I didn't fall in love with it.
Okay.
Like people have. Like, I feel like that's the best way of putting it. It's like you went on a date with a girl. She's nice. You're just not feeling it. You're not jiving.
You didn't get that connection.
And someone out there is going to, really, there's going to be a connection with that person. Just not for me. And that isn't to say that this movie isn't beautiful and visually fun and because you know what, I'll even go. Technically, The Girl Who Left Through Time wasn't my big last one I saw. Technically, it was Summer Wars. Summer
Oh
Wars.
wow, yeah, Summer Wars.
Summer
Man, I
Wars
still
was
need to
also
see
great.
that movie.
It's a total recommendation.
It's like I saw The Girl Who Left Her Dime, but I never saw like Summer Wars and Wolf Children, and they're all by the same guy.
I need to watch Wolf Children.
They're all supposed to be really good.
I need to watch it too. So yeah.
Wait, are they? Wait, hang on, Josh. Did you say that they're all made by the same person?
Yep.
They're
Summer
the
Wars.
same director.
Yeah, Makoto Shinkai. Yep.
No. Makoto Shinkai was this and like Place Promised in our early days.
Oh yeah, sorry.
5 centimeters per second. I forget what the other guy's name is. I keep on thinking it's like Ohiro Shinya, but he's actually the guy who did like
Sorry, yeah, I'm looking him up right now.
Ghost in
Summer
the Shell
Wars.
and other things.
Mamoru Hosoda.
Yeah, Hosoda. Like people kept on saying he was like the next Miyazaki until this movie came out, and everybody.
And now everyone's saying Shinkai's the next Miyazaki, which
it's
I don't
bullshit,
know.
by the way.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. Like nobody's the next Miyazaki except Miyazaki.
Well, that's like the whole what's the next big three argument. We kind of debunked that the last time on our last cast. And I guess that's all I really wanted to say was like I still enjoyed this film. I'm still glad I watched it. I just know that there's people out there who are really, really gonna like this movie, and I'm just not one of those people that fell in love with it. Which is funny because the next subject is something that is the exact opposite. But
but actually, though, I wanted to delve deeper into why you weren't as hot on the movie as you think other people would have you be.
I think.
Because which
sucks because
it's what I've always done, right?
All right, hang on. Let's get into that. But Sora actually likes this movie, like loves this movie. Like,
I mean, I also like this movie.
Like,
Granted.
I don't want this to be like me talking about for 5 minutes about how like my tastes have changed. Like this is a movie review.
Yeah, but like, so what? Okay, so you're saying that your tastes have changed, but like, what is that? Well, how does that specifically mean? That like, are you just not jiving with the narrative that the movie presented?
I actually thought the narrative was really because once again, not knowing anything going into this, I thought that like it was like, we're getting presented with information. Okay, this is what's happening. Oh, it's a body switcher. Like it was like one of those things where it's like the pacing.
Oh, so you didn't even know it was a body. You didn't even know the body switching thing at all. That was the one thing that I knew going in.
No, I didn't know anything going into it. So like, that's the thing. It's still delightful. Like and it's still. I would say the thing that changed about me maybe is how I've had this conversation I think 1,000 times on the channel, but it's this thing where like the older I get, the less desire I have to see characters of a certain age group. These characters that are 16, 15, 14, the teenagers that like Japan loves to. Because it's the youth, it's the adventure, in these anime and stuff.
Their coming of age is in like where I feel like like one big cultural difference is that for America, I feel like a lot of coming of age, like popular media, would have characters are in college years or late high school. You know what I mean? Like 18 to early 20s is when characters have their big coming of age stories or whatever, right? Whereas in Japan, it's with high school, and that's why these characters are aged the way they are.
I think it's like a slightly different focus, I guess, because with the Japanese, they have this thing where it's like high school is the time of your life where you're simultaneously most free.
Yes.
While also being in an environment where everybody's sort of, almost of the same like standing.
You're all going through the same things basically, right? And that's why Persona works so well, is because you're making friends at a school where everybody has to worry about exams. Everybody has to worry about, the PE class. Everybody has to worry about the gym teacher that's sexually assaulting students. It's on and on and on.
Yeah. All universal themes.
Right, yeah. Just the normal thing. But anyways, so whatever. Like I feel like that's why like we get these stories all the time, with these characters at their ages,
Like I guess a good way of putting it is like this. Like you say what you will about Eden of the East, right? I personally didn't connect with that series, but like
I thought the first few episodes were pretty awesome, but then it sort of
it fizzled. It fizzled. Like say what you will about Eden of the East, but the thing I really appreciated was those characters were older, and this is such a weird thing because it's like in my mind it's like if these characters were just a little bit older, You know, and
So, like-
it wasn't the high school experience, and it wasn't, you know, like if it was just about like, man, I'm a country girl, I really wish I could go to the city, and then like have a character who is, you know, older and stuff like that, like and it sucks because it's like it's this weird thing where it's like when we were in high school we'd watch these things and it's like, oh, we're high schoolers, it's relatable. 7 years later, it's I feel
so. It's really the age thing. That's that.
It's the age thing. It's also how I mentioned this yesterday, but like while I thought visually the movie was really fun, the score was a little too much for me. Musically speaking, the score was a bit much, and
I find it actually really interesting that you say that.
I actually, I would say that like of all the things I could sing about the praise, I could talk a lot about how memorable this movie was. The score is not one of them. I like the opening song, that was good, but I can't really think of any track that comes to mind. And I watched that movie, you know, a few months ago. So
from what I hear, a lot of people really dug the score to this movie, but it's like, to me, like, you know, it feels like sort of forgettable, like sort of melodic J-pop.
Yeah, right.
Well, okay, let me put it this way, yeah. So like the thing that kind of threw me off was, oh, there's an anime opening to this movie.
Yeah, same here.
and like, don't get me wrong, the track was fun. Like it's like oh yeah, like, you know, it's music that, you know, it's that cool J-rock kind of sound. But then like there's a very specific scene I'm thinking of when I thought to myself like, oh, the music's that's a bit much, like it's too much. Where it's the first time it's the first time we're introduced to the boy, and he is, you know, and the girl has, you know, is in his body because it's the Freaky Friday situation, and I'll just say she's walking through the streets of Tokyo, and the violins are like swelling too much. Like it's too much. like it's like, yes, we get it. It's
very unsubtle.
It's magical. I get it. Like you don't have to keep emphasizing these violin swellings. Like you didn't have to do that. But every time I think it's gonna die down, it just gets more intense.
I mean, I think, you know,
feel the warmth in her heart.
Like literally, this movie isn't made for people who've watched a whole lot. We are not the audience per se.
Of course
While
not.
we can still enjoy it, it's made for the people who have them.
It's
one of those, like, it's one of the best examples of entry-level anime that I've ever seen.
Actually, that's a really good way of putting that.
And entry-level just movie, I guess.
Yeah. Like I'm not going to sit here and say, and this is why I don't like the increasing comparison. The increasingly common comparison of like, okay, Makoto Shinkai is like, oh, he's the next Miyazaki. Like, no, like he's doing a totally different thing, and that already loads a potential viewer with so much expectations. You know what I mean? Because like the films that Miyazaki is known for are a result of like decades of industry experience, and like this is Shinkai's relatively younger, right? He's like in his early 40s, I think.
Granted,
so
Shinkai's been doing work for probably since at least 2007. He's been doing this for a long time.
He's been doing it for a long time, and he's obviously very talented. That's not to take away from it, but like, you know, like these are like Miyazaki, like the Ghibli films are like, those are like seminal works, you know, and I wouldn't put
like,
Your Name in quite the same league. I
wouldn't put Miyazaki on a pedestal.
No,
I would say that he's got, you know, artistically important works.
Yeah.
But that, and a lot of the earlier works from Makoto Shinkai are similar, but like all the next Miyazaki buzz started after Your Name, and Your Name is definitely the least, I guess, artistically minded of Makoto Shinkai's works. They are designed for a general audience.
Well, let me put it this way, yeah? Like, if you were to stick a kid, or not even, I'll say this, 12-year-old, yeah? Let's take a 12-year-old and sit them in front of, like, you know, like a Miyazaki work. Like, you don't necessarily think, like, oh, it's anime. It's like, oh, you know, like, sometimes, I guess maybe 12 was too old. like, stick in front of a kid and like, or stick a kid in front of one of these movies, like a Miyazaki film, and it's like, oh, this is a cartoon. Like, you know, it's a really well done cartoon. You don't recognize it as anime. This is anime. Like
it's definitely anime.
Yes.
I don't
the
know
pacing
if
is very
necessarily,
anime.
you know, I guess it's something where, like, Miyazaki's got a really wide breadth of things that he does, while Shinkai has a slightly more specialized area that he's interested in, as far as like the emotions that he likes to explore.
Well then.
But I mean, it's like I take issue with, like, you know, just saying like, oh, it's just a cartoon when it comes like Miyazaki.
Well, yeah, I'm saying like a kid would say that, man.
Oh yeah, well,
Like I'm not personally saying that. It's fucking my example fell apart like 6 times, but I mean, come on.
Okay.
But I mean, I said my piece on it. The movie's great. It's just not for me. If you like anime and you are not a jaded piece of shit like me,
I don't think you have to apologize for not liking the movie. You know, like, it's whatever, dude.
Yeah,
we all have different tastes.
Yeah, but like I feel like let me put it this way. Here's my final review. Go watch this movie. If you like anime and you're into the current scene of anime, I think you'd really get a kick out of this movie. If you like an interesting, at least an interesting, slightly different take on the Freaky Friday situation, definitely check this out. If you are a casual fan of anime, go check out this movie, because I feel like a lot of casual fans and a lot of hardcore fans of anime will get they'll get their bang for their buck. This was a fantastic, especially the dub. Once again, another thing where I'm perpetuating. I watched this movie dubbed. Those dubbers are professional workers now.
Oh, really? The dub was really good?
I've actually not seen the dub, so
yeah, me neither. So
I sort of avoided it because I heard some bad things about it.
Oh
Really?
no, I
Really?
just the only reason I did not watch the dub was because the sub was the only showing left that I could go see. So I was like, all right, I guess I'm gonna watch it subbed. Yep.
I will say this. So the thing I really appreciate about the dub was because I know, and this is gonna sound weird. The thing that I really appreciate about the dub was you could definitely tell when a character was in the other person's body. Like the actors took the extra steps to emphasize, like, you know, like to have to try to emphasize more of like a not to say feminine, but like, you know, a feminine sound from the guy's voice actor.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure it's not exclusive to just like the English dub.
Well, I mean, so with Japanese, the language has with the Japanese language, you have the advantage of conjugating words and ending your sentences in a feminine versus masculine way, and they played with that with like language wise. But English doesn't have as much of that actual like built into the syntax. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
of course, but like even with that, I think, you know, probably both languages did well enough that you didn't like sort of spell it out when one person was in the other person's body.
Like, I don't know, like small details like that. They I just got the idea they tried really hard, and like I think they had like an actual child actor play the child. Like the
cool.
little sister. Like it just felt like there was so much love put into the project, and I think that really helped me get through the anime. They get me through the movie, I should say. Because admittedly, like, there were some moments where, like, because I hate to say this and admit this to you guys, I actually only watched 44 minutes of the movie, took a break, and then came back to it because I couldn't.
You see, I talked to Mitchell about this yesterday because I was checking in to see if he actually watched it. And it turns out he had only watched half of it, so we had this like 30-minute conversation about Your Name. So right now I'm sort of doing like the postmortem to see what he thinks of it finally.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you know, again, it's not. You shouldn't have to feel bad about not jiving with this movie as much as other people are. You know, like it's.
I mean, honestly, it's interesting to me, or for me to hear this because, you know, honestly, the internet is an echo chamber of people praising Your Name.
Yeah.
And while I'm not militantly, you know, I'm not the militant hipster, I still like to hear dissenting opinions, definitely.
Sure.
Is it really that dissenting for me to be like, like, oh, this movie's great, go watch it? Not for me.
You have no idea
how
many people just fall over themselves about this movie.
I mean, but like, no offense, but like I mean, like Summer Wars was better.
So the biggest praise that I can say about this movie is that I felt comfortable bringing my mom with me to go see this movie, and I was like, hey, like this movie's like pretty big, and it seems like it's a good, like, you know, you don't have to be into anime to like this movie, right? So and she enjoyed herself, you know what I mean? Like that's probably my number one praise that I can give it.
I'm sure we talked about this in an earlier Velvetcast around that time frame. Like you went, when you went to go see this, like you had brought it up, and like I still thought like, oh, that's a cool movie. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I kind of like one sidetracked this whole conversation because of my different opinion.
Oh, don't.
I mean, honestly, the most interesting to hear right now is your opinion, because we've talked about, like, Sora and I have talked about our opinion of the movie before as well, because we did cover this in like an earlier Velvetcast.
Yeah, probably. I think when I went to go see it, and then, you know, you listen to that, and I was still pretty high on the movie. Like, you know, I was lavishing its praises, you know, and praises that have been said many, many times before. So, you know, I appreciate your dissension, as it were.
I'm trying not to be like a cynical asshole. All right, well, that's all I had to say about the movie. I like I said, you know, go see it. If you haven't checked it out, go see it. All right, let's move on to the next subject then.
Okay.
All right. So, okay, this is the opposite of that. What just happened? So I went to go see The Disaster Artist.
Oh boy! Oh yes!
No.
All right. So the
meme movie.
Okay. I knew you were gonna say that. So this is how I feel about the film. I read the book. I listened to the audiobook, and I've read the book. This is not the book.
Okay, that's fine. All right.
First thing everyone needs to know: this is not the book. Number two,
we should probably explain what The Disaster Artist is.
Oh yes, okay. So, wow, we didn't do that with your name. Oh shit!
I feel like your name is more in the wheelhouse of this channel, like the understood knowledge of. If you are subscribed to this channel, like I think it's safe to assume that you've at least heard your name in your ethos. I don't know, whatever. Yeah. Maybe I'm just...
Okay. So the Disaster Artist tells the story of Greg Sestero and a enigmatic actor named Tommy Wiseau as they produce Tommy's dream project, The Room. It tells this. The movie, or I should say, the book is Greg telling the story of himself, as a young actor, and living in San Francisco, who then moves to LA with Tommy, and the bizarre but true story of how their friendship evolves. The movie plays with this idea for a little bit. And then kind of goes into the best way I could put it is this: if the Disaster Artist is Greg Sestero's like point of view, his perspective, how he saw things, the Disaster Artist is more leaning towards Tommy. And
you mean the movie? You're saying the book lead is from Greg's point of view. The movie is very much Tommy's movie, like the movie about Tommy.
Yeah, where it humanizes him, like, because one of the things that I couldn't help but notice is because Sora, you have context with the book. In the book, holy shit, Tommy's a giant asshole.
There are some deplorable things that he does, like it's
but even though he does these like deplorable things, Greg always tries to take it, like, to pull, like, he'll explain something that happened and then he'll pull back and be like, I think this is what Tommy was feeling.
Yes.
And I think that, and I always appreciated that Greg wouldn't just attack Tommy. He would be like, all right, I think this is what's happening.
He would try to reconcile why he was doing the crazy shit he was doing.
Right. And the one thing I will say about this movie is I went to go see it with Gang Mudo because we both were fans of
the Room, the movie, the movie inside this movie,
right? Which
is also very good.
and I've talked about it on the channel before because we did a Velvetcast on it.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I wanted to just really quickly say was, I listened to the book first and then I watched The Room. And that was a very different experience from what
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of
I
people
would be
have.
very curious as to that experience because I had watched The Room years before the book came out, and just now listened to the book, and it's cool to have all that background knowledge of it, but it'd also be cool to watch The Room for the first time, hearing these stories. I want to rewatch it now.
I like the best way. Like I saw clips of the movie as I was reading the book because I was like, what do these characters look like? And like I saw Tom and like, holy shit, Greg is really on point. You know, and there was all these moments where like, you know, with that experience, it's all about the watching the movie was filling in the blanks my imagination like couldn't, and that was a really interesting experience. And watching this movie, there are moments where I'm like, oh, I don't know, would Greg have really done that? But like, or would Greg have, you know, responded like based on what he said in the book? You know, it's like well, you know, the creative thing, you know, creative what differences and stuff like that. Like, you know, there's just moments where it's like I was so attached to the book and locked in the book, where like I feel like there was a moment in the theater where I was like, okay, time. I need to, like, within the first 5 minutes, like, all right, I need to detach myself right now, and just experience this as a movie. And as a movie, I still 100% recommend this movie. And I'm trying not to overhype it because I'm sure everyone's doing that. And saying like, oh, this is an Oscar-worthy movie and all this stuff. Okay, look, here's the deal. If you like a movie about friendship, and if you like a movie about how, you know, like if you like movies about, I want to say, just oddballs, that this feels like an oddball indie film. That's what it feels like to me. Like, it feels like it very much feels like this movie was made by, like, it doesn't feel like a big shot Hollywood movie. This feels very much like an indie film. And I enjoyed that, and I enjoyed the atmosphere. Like, there are moments where I'm like, oh, okay, this is Hollywood magic, ha ha ha. But like, no, it's I think it's the way it's edited and like the music choices and things like that. Like, it feels very much like, you know, not, I wouldn't go as far as to say like, you know, like a Grand Budapest Hotel or whatever the fuck that,
like a Wes Anderson movie.
Yeah, like a Wes Anderson movie. But it's still very enjoyable. James Franco directed it. He did a fantastic job. He does a fantastic job portraying Tommy Wiseau. The accent's very on point. Like, it's fun. And that's all. Like, if that's a good way of putting it, it's a fun film.
Okay. Now, do you think that you would need prior knowledge to enjoy this movie? As in, would you have had to have watched
The Room? I'm interested in hearing this as well, because I have no prior knowledge.
Because I'm primed and ready to go, and I pretty much know that I'm going to at least enjoy this movie because I've watched The Room so many times, and I've been to the Room showings and stuff. And this is the number one thing that I hope that this movie does, is that brings back room showings, like in the room showings, and like theaters and stuff, because you and I, Mitch, need to, and Josh, you can fucking come along too, I don't give a fuck. We need to go and see this movie in a theater and do all the crazy shit that Greg touches on in the book.
Oh yeah.
So
this is the part where like I have to admit, okay, I'm not entirely sure
if you can watch it without watching The Room.
The only reason I say that is because how do I word this? I feel like a big part of my enjoyment was like watching, like, oh, they got, you know, like, oh, look, you know, this is happening, like, you know, like it's the story it's the story of the creation of this movie that I just love, and so watching it on the screen, like, I got an immediate enjoyment from it. I will say, I'm not sure going in blind is a good idea for this movie, only because like without the, like, let me put it this way, Tommy Wiseau is such a eccentric character. He's so out there. He's so out of this world that if you didn't know, you know, if you have never seen him act, if you've never seen him do a thing, you know, and you watched James Franco act this whole thing out, I don't think I think an audience member who heard the phrase "based on a true story" would think that James Franco, you know, took the caricature of Tommy and just really rolled with it. It's like, no, this, like, you have to understand that Tommy Wiseau is genuinely this way. He is a very eccentric, out there person. So if you have no context for The Disaster Artist, or you have no context for The Room, my recommendation would be there's a great little video online that's about like 7 minutes long, and it has all the best scenes in The Room in it.
Okay.
And you know, if you don't care about watching The Room, then that's a good way of you know, pre-gaming it. Go watch the 7-minute clip. Then
I think 7 minutes is enough to ask somebody. Yeah, that's the thing, is that like my problem with The Room is that I have such a hard time selling it, because I don't want to like tell my friends like, oh hey, like check out this movie, it's called The Room, it's really good. I laughed a lot, it was hilarious, you should watch it, because that's not the right way to introduce that.
Oh, of course not.
Of a film. But
it's such a anomaly in itself, and like and I feel like I'm trying once again so hard not to oversell any of this, because the problem is that I know for a fact that reviewers out there are going to probably be seeing, because the phrase Oscar buzz has been going around, like this movie's going to be oversaturated as fuck. And which is ironic, because despite its oversaturation, I had to drive 30 minutes to go to a theater. Like I live, Sora, you know where I live. There's a movie theater like not even like 5 minutes down the road. I had to go drive like 30 minutes, like to the city, like to another city, I should say.
Yeah. Okay.
To go watch this film. This is one of those weird moments where it's like this movie is not easily accessible either. Like I had to Aaron, one of our friends, or Kawakami, as you guys know him from the Velvetcast, trying to like he lucked out. You know, he lives near a very big theater that has like 20 different screenings. Because of the atmosphere of the movies or the cinemas at right now, where we have Justice League, Thor Ragnarok still in theaters, Star Wars is coming out next week, Breath of Water. Did you know that Breath of Water came out? I forgot. I wanted to go see that movie really badly, but because of the atmosphere in the cinemas right now, they can't afford to like throw a movie like that. Like the smaller ones, or like even the more moderate ones, can't afford to throw a movie like that, because they have to get ready for movies like Star Wars and bigger films. So if you can go see this movie, if you can find a theater near you, go see this film. It's fun. At the very least, it's fun. This was the first time I was in a theater where I genuinely had the feeling of, no, please don't end just yet. I want to see where this goes. Like I didn't want the movie to end, and I haven't felt that way in a very long time for a movie. And I was genuinely happy watching the film. So, but obviously I have a huge bias in the matter because I did read the book. So,
okay, yeah. Mitchell. So, like, if you had to sell the movie in a single sentence, how would you sell it?
If you're in the mood for something complex that you will enjoy and have fun, check out The Disaster Artist, because that'd be my sentence. This movie is a very complex movie. It's not a comedy, but it's not a drama. It's like a mix mash of all those things. So, yeah. That's the best way of putting it. I think that's why I enjoyed it so much, because it wasn't just one specific thing. But yeah, so that's my Disaster Artist review. Go check it out. If you guys end up catching it, let me know, and we'll bring this back. And if you guys have any different opinions than I do. Which will move us on to the next subject of the night. Sora, this is all you.
Boy.
You got your Xenoblade.
Oh yeah. You guys ready to talk? Ready for me to talk at you for 5 minutes about Xenoblade Chronicles 2?
All right. So, okay. Give us some context. I played the original Xenoblade. Xenoblade?
Xenoblade. What the fuck ever. Potato. What, Xenoblade Chronicles? You played the original Xenoblade Chronicles? Hello?
I'm sorry, what was that?
You played the original Xenoblade Chronicles?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. All right, cool. Well, how far did you get? Did you beat it?
No, I only got a little bit in there.
Okay, same here actually. So yeah, I guess Xenoblade Chronicles. I guess I should start with my experience with the series. So I've played both Xenoblade Chronicles and Xenoblade Chronicles X. The former, I only got like 10 hours in, and because I was in the middle of college while I was trying to play it, and just dropped it, and I just didn't have time for it. Xenoblade Chronicles X, I got when it came out, and I really enjoyed it. I put like 40 hours into that bad boy, and I just kind of bounced off of it for whatever reason. I just never came back to it. Just because like it was fun. The RPG, it was fun. I loved the exploration of it and stuff, but the story was just almost non-existent, and I just did not like the characters at all. And I just kind of bounced off of it really quick, like after that 40-hour mark. It's like, all right, guess I'm done. So I kind of went at this game kind of pensively, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but I also was kind of hankering for another JRPG because it's been a while since Persona 5 for me at least, right? So I was like, all right, I'm gonna give this a shot, and I am on chapter five, and I am about 30 hours in, I think. The game clock, the game timer glitched out, and it says I have 60 hours, and that's definitely not true because I think that includes sleep time. So whatever, it's fine. And honestly, like so far, and again, I always asterisk. I always like a game when I'm first starting to play it. I'm enjoying this game a lot. Honestly, I really like it. It has some very clear issues though, but it's totally dumb anime bullshit, and I love it. It's something that I think if I played this another time when I was in another mood, I would end up hating it. But right now, I am craving this very specific game. And I'm just riding the wave, and I'm hoping that I can ride that wave to finish it out. I hear it's really long. I'm probably maybe a third of the way through it. It's pretty daunting, but I guess I should get into the nitty-gritty details of it. So I guess the number one thing I love about this game is just like the environments. Like Monolith Soft, like they know how to make a convincing open world in terms of music, in terms of atmosphere, scale of the world you're crawling through, and seeing these giant ass mystical creatures like flying overhead of you. It's awesome. It's really absorbing just to walk around the world and see like that level 9, like that level 80 fucking weird dragon thing like flying overhead of you, and you're like, oh god, I'm gonna be able to kill that thing in 60 hours. I mean, it's gonna be awesome. And Monolith Soft knows how to do that shit because like these guys worked on Breath of the Wild actually. Like they Nintendo had them help out with the world design of Breath of the Wild. Their design, like Xenoblade Chronicles 1 is really good, really known for this, and so is Xenoblade Chronicles X, and for 2 it's no different. And so yeah, it's just awesome to like roam around the world and do. I'm motivated to do side quests that I'm not normally motivated to do, just because I love the loop of walking around and hunting monsters and listening to the awesome OST. The OST is so good, and just fighting dudes. I will say the game is really systems heavy. Like there are like so many different like leveling charts. Like you have like your passive skills that you level up. You have your blades, which are pretty much personas, basically that. You level up their affinities by doing very specific things, like if you like find a specific item, or if you use the specific attack, or if you hunt the specific monster, or talk to the specific these specific race of people or whatever, and you level up their abilities that way. And then like I don't know, I don't want to get too much into it because I end up talking in circles for forever. And the battle system also, like I hear a lot of people are saying that this battle system is really impenetrable. And I really think that like once you click with it, it ends up being really fun. It's it plays like an MMO. All the Xenoblades do. All the Xenoblades are real-time combat, where you just kind of auto attack and you use specials. You have like your face buttons activate special attacks, special maneuvers that do different effects and stuff like that. Except with in this case, everything's attached. Everything has an element attached to it, and you have your blades to worry about too. Your blades are like standing behind you and channeling, boosting your power basically. And it's all about like trying to get into a flow and strategically using your specials in a rhythm to the point where you can combo into things. And it's awesome. It lets you do anime bullshit, and it's fucking dope if you can get it off right. That being said, I really struggle. I like the characters a lot in this game, but I really struggle with the character designs of some of them. Because there's a lot of, okay, I'm just gonna say it, like there's some really, really like just gross character proportions in this game that really take me out of the experience.
Yeah, you wanna tell me about that? Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, so the main character is Rex, and his blade is Pyra, the legendary Aegis, whatever. I like Pyra as a character. I hate the way Pyra looks. She just has, ginormous anime titties, and it's just dumb. And it really takes me out of it. Like, I have to actively ignore it, and it just feels gross, because her character doesn't jive with that at all. I feel like, like where I don't know. There again, there's a lot of it's total anime bullshit, and that's both a great thing for me and kind of a bad thing at the same time. So yeah, the fan service is kind of distracting, and I kind of it's very obvious male gaze that kind of makes me feel gross for for playing it. But once you get over that, I guess it's fine. It's just, I don't know. Another problem is that like the art styles between different characters also super clash. Like the main cast has their own specific art style, but like they got a bunch of different so the way blades work in this game. So basically Blades is this game's version of Personas, and they had different designers work on, like they had different designers come in, like different character artists come in for different blades. So different blade, like these blades will look like completely like they look like they're from separate games. Like they got freaking Tetsuya Nomura to design all of basically the bad guy characters, and seeing them interact in cutscenes with like your main party, it's kind of jarring. Like they all look good enough in their own, like, in a vacuum, but when you see like, super spiky haired and like and belts galore Nomura characters. Well, I guess they don't have belts, but you know what I mean. Like that's very specific, like spiky hair art style with Nomura clashing.
It's very obvious it's him.
Yes, and I don't dislike that art style. Obviously, I love Kingdom Hearts. I love a lot of his. I will defend Nomura's art style. It looks jarring when it's just a guest artist in another game, I would say. So, like they look like fucking Final Fantasy VII characters talking with these, these main characters that, look a little bit more, I don't know, standard anime, I guess. I don't know. I guess all of this is to say that these 30 hours are just first impressions, really, of a very long-ass game. And I've been talking for a while. I'm really enjoying it. I love the OST. If nothing else, listen to the soundtrack, because god damn, those songs are so good. And yeah, I'm gonna keep on playing it, but please, next time for Xenoblade 3, dial down the gross anime titties, because I honestly thought Xenoblade Chronicles 1 was pretty good in that department. I liked Xenoblade 1's art style way better, just because it was a little bit more reserved. It realistic isn't the right word, but it felt more cohesive and less pandering. So yeah, that's Xenoblade. Any questions? Sorry. I ended up talking for 5 minutes.
Dude, you're fine. I guess I would say this, where it's like, honestly, nothing about this game looks like something I would pick up ever.
Really? I honestly, dude, I would say if you had not just gotten into Final Fantasy 14, I would have implored you to give it a shot. Like I would like either let you borrow my Switch and play around for it for a few minutes or whatever, because it brings a lot of feelings to, like, I didn't really touch on the narrative that much, but like in terms of like just the atmosphere, it feels almost like I'm playing Final Fantasy X in a weird way, with its own battle system. Obviously it plays completely differently, but just that kind of vibe of exploring that world with the music and all that stuff, and having characters that I'm attached to, it feels kind of like playing a good Final Fantasy game. I guess. Which is to say a good RPG. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I guess that. Sorry if you're done then.
That's my piece. I'll let you know if my opinion changes drastically. So.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Time for the last subject of the night. All right, you guys were expecting it. Sora hinted at it. Abathur. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Heroes of the Storm for the last segment of the night.
Yeah.
I want to talk about 14, but I want to actually start playing the expansion before I talk about 14 again.
Yeah.
Because I've been leveling up. I got Samurai to 60. Now I got to get Red Mage to 60, and then I'll be ready to go into the expansion.
All right.
Oh man. All right, but let's talk Heroes of the Storm. For those of you who don't know, I play Heroes of the Storm. I'm not good at it, but I like playing it. And I play it with Aaron a lot because I convinced him to. He doesn't like the game, but he plays, and I convinced him to get Cho'Gall.
Oh, no.
And you know, we actually play with Nexian sometimes. I really like playing this game. I think it's a really well built game, but my struggle with the game has been trying to find a hero that matches my ideal play style, and I think I found him. I think I found him in Abathur.
Found him in Abathur.
well. Okay, so I guess I should explain this. It's this weird thing where like I like Tracer. Lucio is pretty fun. I really enjoyed Sylvana, and then I'll even go on a limb and be like, well, no, because Cho'Gall is genuinely fun.
Yeah, Cho'Gall's great.
But like I actually picked this hero up on a whim because I'm like, he looks gross and disgusting, and I fell in love with him. He's actually really fun.
That's awesome. He's definitely probably the most unique character in the game right now.
I just love the idea that like you can adapt your strategy, like his everything. Like don't get me wrong, the whole game is about adapting your strategy as you level up, and that's why I think I really enjoy it. It's why I took a break from 14 this weekend. I was afraid of overdoing it because I already got within the last I'm gonna say this is my second or third week, I already have 18 hours, like more than 18 hours in.
Nice.
And I'm like, I don't want to like destroy my sense of self, like getting into this game. So I'm gonna play something else. I've been winning with him. He's super fun. His whole gimmick is he enters a little pod and sends out a little like drone. And the drone hovers above someone's head, and you support them and give them shield and attack with it. It's really fun. I didn't want to make a whole segment out of it. I just wanted to tell you guys I'm playing Abathur. He is genuinely fun, and he's the most unique hero out of all of them in Heroes of the Storm. I would say next to I have not tried Probus, but I hear he's pretty up there.
Probius? Yeah, he's weird. I
like the weird characters. I like the specialists. They're They're really fun. And
I do think that's one of Heroes of the Storm's biggest strengths is that they're willing to push the boundaries more on what a conventional MOBA character can do. The one kind of bummer is that like I just wish Abathur was a little bit more competitively viable, I guess, because if you try to take him into like a ranked mode, which you guys probably don't even play, and I don't really even play it that much anymore. But you'll just get like people will just get so pissed whenever they see an Abathur. But I honestly think Abathur is really fun to play and to play with. So yeah, I'm happy you picked him up.
he's such a unique and fun character. I just like the idea that I like the idea that I'm like, oh shit, enemies. Hey guys, I'm gonna go burrow over there. And then I just get like. It's just fun. And I've got MVP so many times, and I'm enjoying myself, and I'm so like, it's fun. It's such a unique build. I told Aaron that like if there was one thing I wish that they would give him is like pajama pant skin with Sombra emblems all over it. That would be the best. That would be the absolute best. Anyways, guys, that rounds us up for tonight. If you guys like this video, give it a like, comment, and subscribe, all that junk. We do have a Patreon. Our current goal is $100. If we get to 100, okay, I need to explain this real quick. We hit 100, and then we started working on getting it to iTunes, and then we found out that iTunes has this art requirement, so we started doing that. And then as we were working on that, one of the God Goobs stopped doing that. And so we're actually at like 88, 84, something like that. So, so we're actually taking the time to prepare it and the art that would be needed. And we're also, okay, this is a very important announcement actually. We're changing the name of the Velvetcast at some point.
Oh boy, okay.
Because it is too close to another cast called The Adventure Zone. And it's also, on iTunes, there is already an Adventure Cast. So we're thinking of different names for that. We're going to give you guys a poll about what we're going to change the name to. But we just wanted to let you know what was up. If you haven't already joined the Discord, please join it. It's fun. It's enjoyable. I haven't been there as much as I wanted to be lately. But it's fun. And plus, I play guitar in there. So it all works out fine. Sometimes. I haven't been playing recently because I left my dad and I have been watching Punisher. And we play guitar afterwards and goof around. and I forget to take my guitar back home. And I have another guitar here, but it's like my special guitar with nylon strings, and I don't like to play it unless I have to. It's like my professional instrument, because those are specialty strings that I have to like outsource. Anyways, guys, next time on the Velvetcast, what's the next movie we're watching? Shit, we have to put it to a vote. We have to make our. We'll private message ourselves. Yeah, we get our new rotation of movies set.
Finally.
Yeah, I know. It took us like, what, 2 months? And we'll talk more about My Hero Academia. And I'm going to try to go watch Star Wars.
Yeah, fuck.
Oh, man.
I don't know if I can do it opening weekend just because I don't have my ticket yet. So I'm going to try, I guess, too. But I have a feeling if I haven't bought it yet, I'm not going to be able to watch it this opening weekend.
I will try to do Star Wars. If I can't, I'll probably try to get into Shape of Water.
Oh, yeah. God damn it. I need to watch that one. All right. Anyways, there's still so many good movies. All right. Anyways, all right. Next time on The Velvet Room.
Have a good night, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Bye.
listening.